Shout out to D-Throne, man. Y'all come on in here. We're going to get into this. You know, they flagging out here now. Them boys hurt. They feelings hurt. So we're going to bloviate on a pre-record. Because Shorty want to be a thug, got himself in a jam, and now he upset about it. It's all good. But listen, man, Jason Whitlock. Ooh, what is this little gnat doing in here? Jason Whitlock goes scorched earth on Ryan Clark and Stephen A. Smith. So D-Throne got the video. Salute to him. D-Throne Digital. Let's get it. This is a pre-record, people. So hit the like button on the way in. Hit the like button on the way out. I don't know nothing about super chats and all that. And the pre-record is fine. Just chat, like, don't like, whatever at the end of the video. Appreciate you.
It's a one-way street. And every lane runs towards Stephen A. Ryan Clark got fired. And Stephen A. Smith, the highest profile face at the network, the man with the $100 million contract, the man who never stops reminding you how big he is, couldn't save Ryan Clark. You want to see what real power at ESPN looks like? Look at Pat McAfee. When McAfee talks, the building moves. When Stephen A. talks, the building rolls its eyes, nods politely, and does whatever it already was going to do. That's the difference between leverage and volume. McAfee has leverage. Stephen A. has volume. And Ryan Clark bet his.
Hey, like Jason Whitlock, not like Jason Whitlock. He got some. Did Pat McAfee do Hell Hitler or something on that one? I don't know what he's doing on that, but I don't know. But he does have a point. When Pat McAfee talk, people are going to listen. He moves the needle. He doesn't need their help. I mean, of course, he'll take their deal and their money. Pat McAfee built himself, built his studio, built his people on his own. And that's what made him who he is. He's organic with it. So I think with the situation with Pat McAfee, yeah, I gotta say Jason Whitlock is right. Instead of just being a loud voice, saying controversial stuff that you're gonna have people like you and not like you, Pat McAfee built his own thing. So if he says something controversial, they can say, "Hey, that's on Pat McAfee. He partnered with us." That he has it to where they have plausible deniability. They can say, "We just partnered with him. He has his own thing. If you have a problem, deal with Pat McAfee." He has power. He's not just a loud person. So I do agree with Jason Whitlock on this.
Entire career on volume, on being the loudest, most identity-obsessed voice in the room. He thought standing next to the loud guy made him safe. It made him expendable.
Jason Whitlock reacts to Ryan Clark firing and goes off on Stephen A. Smith. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Cam Newton's got a show. Cam invited me on it. We talked. I gave my honest opinion, including about Stephen A. Smith, because that's what I do, and that's what Cam asked for. Let's take a listen.
Look, you said you're going to keep it in a buck.
A thousand.
Keep it 1,000 now.
I've done the homework on Stephen A. He's fraudulent. He's lying about his college basketball career. He's admitted he's lying about his college basketball career. If I sat in the media space for 20 years telling everybody I played for Big House Games and I got a full ride scholarship after knocking down 17 straight three-pointers in a scrimmage on a Sunday when they played a game on Saturday and they hosted a scrimmage on Sunday and I knocked down 17 straight three-pointers and they gave me a scholarship on the spot.
Stephen A. is one of the greatest players in Hollis Queens history. He's better than Sam Cassell, better than Nick Van Exel. Stephen A. Smith would have been a great player in the NBA if he didn't shatter his kneecap.
Right.
I don't want to get flagged, but I do want to say I strongly disagree. Let me bloviate for a second. I strongly disagree with that statement. I don't want to have to bloviate to get my point across, but he could not play. The guy was a scrub. All that screw in the knee was a good excuse so he didn't have to show himself. He didn't show the 17 threes. He didn't show anything. The guy was a scrub. Couldn't have a move he could think of. Nobody know him at the park. Nobody know him nowhere. That's just joking, YouTube. Don't flag me. I was copying Stephen A. with the bloviate. Let's play the video. But no, I don't think he can play, though, to be honest. We've never seen him play. We've seen him shoot. And when Dale Curry and other guys shoot that are old, Vince Carter, they go out there and shoot, you can still see the form. you can still see the shot of why they were who they once was. With Stephen A, you don't see that. You see a guy who's been bloviating on the internet this whole time and talking bombastic and aggressive and out of place about NBA players. And then when he touches a ball, because he did this himself one day at a time, and he goes out there and shoots, it's all air ball. So my belief is that if you can't do something, then you should talk about it in a way where you show respect to it. If I can't fight, I can't go to fighters and talk crazy about fighting. If I can't read, I can't go to people who reading books every day and talk to them crazy about what they read. If I play basketball, and even whether I play good or bad, at least I put it out there. If you are just a journalist, you should talk about it in a way where you show respect to the guys who actually do it. It's not that you can't have an opinion. It's just that your opinion shouldn't sound like you can do it when, bitch, you can't do it. Your opinion should sound like what it is, an opinion. We all can accept an opinion. We can't accept people who talk about things in a way that are disrespectful about things that you cannot do. Now, I know First Take and all of these organizations, all they care about the bottom line. If you're entertaining, if you're funny, if you can speak about the game and keep an audience, then they're going to want to put you in place. So, but other than that, I just don't see why you would talk about something that you can't do in that way. That's just me.
Clark, he didn't care for my comments on Cam's show. Neither did Stephen A. So the two of them got on their platforms and started scolding Cam Newton. The gist? Cam, if a man shows you love, has you around, you don't platform his enemies. Loyalty is at a minimum these days. Loyalty? Two grown men running the loyalty police on Cam Newton's own show over who Cam Newton is allowed to have a conversation with? Now, here's why the timing is absolutely perfect. For 2 whole months, Ryan Clark walked around believing his loyalty sermon aged like fine wine. And the whole time, the network he was demanding everyone be loyal to was quietly sharpening the axe with his name on it. And here's the kicker. The man Ryan was scolding Cam over, Stephen A. Myth, he couldn't spell the word if Kendrick Lamar helped him do it. Let me make sure I've got the loyalty math right. Clark and Stephen A. lectured Cam for being disloyal, and ESPN may be about to lay off all 3 of them.
Yeah, when it comes to business, ain't no loyalty. Stephen A. Smith, he's the quote-unquote face, doing his thing, running the numbers up. Great talent at ESPN, but no matter how loyal you are to Stephen A. Smith, that don't mean nothing when it comes to the bosses at ESPN. So they prop up Stephen A. Smith. He pretty much hires the talent from afar, gets them into the door. But when the money comes calling and they got to start making some cuts to pay Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith, talents like Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, Molly Kiram, people like that got to go. We're not going to pay people multiple millions when we got to pay Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee all that money. So Ryan Clark, he was a cool Disney soldier, but they had to cut bait with him. We got to X out your salary to pay your boss, Stephen A. Smith.
Yes, I said
I 100% agree.
all 3. I don't think Stephen A. is going to see all 5 years on his latest contract. That's my prediction. And Cam Newton could very well be the next ESPN casualty. The universe didn't rush this punchline.
So, damn, Jason Whitlock predicted this must have been before Cam Newton got fired, because Cam Newton is released too. And, I know those brothers are going to be all right. It's not good or fun to see anybody lose their job. So I'm not happy about any of these 2 brothers losing their job. Damn, he predicted Cam Newton would lose his job. That's crazy.
Fearless family, it's serving the whole table. Let's talk about the man Ryan Clark was defending.
I will say this. I didn't think Cam fit in the mainstream because Cam is too honest. Cam says whatever he wants to say. They don't like individuals. You cannot be an individual and work for a company. You can partner with it because Pat McAfee is an individual and they like, I don't like to use the race thing, but they do like white guys to be individual. But I think that Cam Newton does a great job of being himself and in his own space. I don't think he needs an ESPN. He needs to partner with somebody. Well, I'm not going to tell him what he needs to do, but I think I suggest, or I think he should stay independent because his voice and his personality says independent. And if you put him in a box and choke off some of the things that he can say, like he had something about women and talking about who was the prize and all that. And I was just thinking in my head, like, oh shucks, bro, you are a part of an organization now. You can't say that. But guys get used to being athletes and getting used to being independent. Once you sign that contract, you're no longer independent. So that's just a thing to keep in mind.
Because this is where it gets very educational. Stephen A. Smith preaches loyalty the way a fox preaches hen house security. Ask Molly Karam. Sat next to Stephen A. for years, held the First Take desk down, looked good doing it. But when the wind shifted, was she protected? When she wanted a little pay bump from $500,000, did Stephen A. make it happen? Was she saved? Could she get paid? Let's ask Shannon Sharpe. Stephen A. was right there. Did that famous leverage do anything for Shannon when Shannon needed cover? I'll wait.
Yeah, it's not going to do nothing. Again, high-paid employee, good talent, but Stephen A. Smith, he can't call the shots at ESPN. That's how they're going to dress it up in the media and phrase it like he's a big-timer at ESPN, which he is on camera. But when it comes to those executive seats, payroll, he's just another guy. So he's not going to be able to save Ryan Clark, Molly, Shannon Sharpe. Solid talent, especially Shannon and Cam and Ryan, but he's not going to be able to save them. So the loyalty thing is cool, but when it comes to Disney and just corporate, don't really matter. You can be loyal, but when they got to make cuts, you got to go. That's what happened with Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, and many others at Disney.
But maybe Steve.
Yeah, because Stephen A. is just a face. They put these guys, I told y'all, they don't like me because I say the truth. They put these people in like these figurehead positions. They're not the boss. They don't run nothing. They are good assets to acquire because that's what they're doing. They're acquiring them as an asset because you can bloviate well on camera. So they acquire your talent. And then once they're done with you, or once you say a little too much, and now they're done with this whole woke thing. They're done with certain edgy takes. And that's why I think Cam Newton didn't work. But they're going to go to this cookie cutter journalist type of style because most of these people don't know anything about sport, not from a hands-on thing. There's some guys that study sports. They respect it. They wish they can do it. And so they're enthralled in it and they respect it to the point where they don't take away from it. They add to the sport by talking about it in a way where you learn from it.
Stephen A. is planning on bringing Shannon Sharpe back. Maybe that's why he let Ryan Clark get dusted. We'll marinate on that in the panel. But here's the truth about Stephen A. and loyalty. It's a one-way street, and every lane runs towards Stephen A. His leverage benefits exactly one human being on this planet. And you're looking at his initials on that big $100 million contract. Everybody else is a supporting character in the Stephen A. Smith show. Ryan Clark thought he was a partner. He was a prop. And now Ryan Clark is finding out what Molly found out, what Shannon found out, that the man who talks the most about loyalty has the least of it to give. Okay, here's the part I actually want you to remember because it's the whole game. Ryan Clark got fired, and Stephen A. Smith, the highest profile face at the network, the man with the $100 million contract, the man who never stops reminding you how big he is, couldn't save Ryan Clark.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. The $100 million plus, being in that First Take seat, contributing to a different type of programming at ESPN and Disney. All that's cool from the outside, but from the inside, he's just another high-paid guy, making money, being popular, being famous. That's cool, but he doesn't have that executive seat. He has the popular seat, the famous seat. That can easily be replaced. And I know Whitlock, he brought it up a few minutes ago. He doesn't believe Stephen A. Smith will be able to complete his contract. That's going to be a huge buyout. He's probably entering his first year into that contract or maybe completed a year. So that means he probably got between 75 and 80 M's left over from that contract. Are they going to do a buyout if things tank even more at ESPN?
Hell yeah, they'll do a buyout. Hell yeah, they'll do a buyout if things take more at ESPN. For sure.
Couldn't save Molly. Can't save anybody. Because here's the secret ESPN doesn't want said out loud. Stephen A. Smith's leverage is a magic trick. It's loud, it's shiny, it works on the audience. It does not move one executive. You want to see what real power at ESPN looks like? Look at Pat McAfee. McAfee walked in, cut his own deal, brought his own production controls, his own content, and the network rearranges the furniture around him. When McAfee talks, the building moves. When Stephen A. talks, the building rolls its eyes, nods politely, and does whatever it already was going to do. That's the difference between leverage and volume. McAfee has leverage. Stephen A has volume. And Ryan Clark bet his entire career on volume, on being the loudest, most identity-obsessed voice in the room. He thought standing next to the loud guy made him safe. It made him expendable. I'm telling you.
Yeah, good analogies by
That I'm not going to say I agree. I'm not going to say I disagree. But what I will say is you can't argue that point because there's some people that love Ryan Clark. There's some people that think he's a race baiter. There's other people. I think his takes are good. Some of them. I don't agree with all of them. I'm sure he don't agree with all my takes. That's just life. But do I think he should be fired? No, I don't. But let me know what y'all think about what Jason Whitlock said. Hey, man, I'm up out of this thing. Shout out to the new piano in the back.